Moses was an interesting character. He was he knew he was Hebrew because his mother would tell him, but they didn't tell anybody else. And he was raised by Pharaoh in Egypt. And he had a really kind of nice life. Good food and all kinds of things and servants, etc. And he was just up in the top echelon. So he kept quiet about his being Hebrew because he knew that the Pharaoh didn't like that. And of course, this day came and he saw somebody, an Egyptian soldier, kill one of the Hebrews, and he was enraged, a fellow Hebrew, and killed the Egyptian. And all of a sudden he realized, I got to get out of here. The Pharaoh will not like this. He will put me to death. And so he ran. And I probably would have done the same thing, and most of everybody in here would do that. But, here he is. And he has this long time of walking in the desert, finding his way into the land of Midian, etc., and going all around like this. And finally, he found a place where he could at least do something. And he became a shepherd. And he was watching the sheep this one day. And he looked over and he saw this bush that's burning, but not being consumed. Well, I'm going to go over there and find out what this is all about. He's kind of having that's how he would talk to the people in Pharaoh's place. I know I'm going to get an answer, etc., etc. He's going to be big stuff. And he walks over and he gets closer and closer. That bush just becomes more beautiful. When the closer we get to God, the more beauty we find. He didn't quite understand until he hears God, Moses. And here he knows that this has to be some kind of a God. There were all kinds of people that said there are all kinds of, the rain god, the moon god, and all of that. And here he says, Moses, and Moses, he knows my name. God knows my name. And then, take off your shoes because this is holy ground. Now, when in the Bible, and especially in the Old Testament, when we hear the word holy, always remember what they would hear is other. Holy, holy, holy. It's other. It's not just this, it's something else. So be thinking about that when you hear that. So God is holy because God is other. He's not just like us. He's not just another thing in the universe. He made the universe. He's above the universe. And then he starts talking about the history of the Hebrew people. He knows, and Moses, he knows our history. How does this God know our history? So something really not magical, but just something not all of this world. God is not just in the world. God is in the world. God is in the world. But he's also not in the world. He is in and out at the same time. He is everywhere, everywhere, and every time. For God, there is no time. It's yesterday and tomorrow at the same time. He is outside of time. Now that's hard to grasp, because we think of time, the past, the future, the present, which is already gone. But it's really past or future. It's that kind of thing. And so something is really happening, and God is doing something. And Moses is, I'm going to use the word mesmerized. How can this bush burn and not be consumed? How can that happen? But it did. It did happen. Because God is more than us. It's more than this universe. It's wonderful. Well, so what? That's nice stuff, but what about it? Well, now we don't have a burning bush. Our burning bush is the Eucharist. The more we come to the Eucharist in that holy way, in a different way, when we come to the person of Jesus, it's more than just a human person. It is God himself. It's one of the things I think we sometimes forget about that. We kind of just think it's Mass, it's Jesus, it's okay, that's nice. But this is huge. This is huge, because instead of seeing a burning bush not consumed, we're going to see, through the words of Jesus, body, blood, soul, divinity from bread and wine. Every Mass is a miracle. Every Mass, we come to this holy ground. It's why we genuflect. It's why we do different things here in this building. This is holy ground, really holy ground. Yes, God is in all ground, but this is different. This is the very presence of God. So this week, find some times to go to adoration and be with our flaming bush that is not consumed. And when we come to Mass, we go one step further. We see and hear the words of Jesus, and he comes right into us. He doesn't stay in that form. He comes into us and becomes right inside of our own body and soul and mind. What a beautiful thing we have. Well, Monsignor, it's kind of hard to see that happening. Well, with our eyes, yes. With our eyes, yes. We don't see anything change. But it does. It does. A great change. A great change. And that's meant to change us. It's meant us to change, that we become the burning bush. And once that happens, and we realize that, then we have a mission. And that God always does this. Always does this. Once you see the burning bush, Moses had a vision, and he had a mission to do. And each of you, myself, You have a vision and a mission from God. We have seen and tasted the burning bush of Jesus. And now he says, okay, now go out. Now go out. The Mass is ended. Go out and be Christ and be that burning bush of Jesus in your own life, in your own home, in your own car when you're driving, all those kinds of things. And we just allow ourselves to say, this is holy ground. God is within me. I have a mission.